Welcome back to Star Wars Nerds Unite, a discussion and review podcast focused on the Star Wars universe. I'm your host, Tim VanAutreve. Joining me as always are Josh the Tosh, internet famous Mason.
Hello.
And Jennifer VanAutreve.
Hi.
And Max. Hi, Max. He's talking quite a bit right now. Today we're going to be discussing Star Wars Rebels Season 4, Episodes 12 and 13.
You remember what they're called?
No, but I have it written down.
It was like...
Wolves and a Door.
And then A World Between Worlds.
Yes.
Bum, bum, bum. Who's going to break it down?
Do you remember it?
It's,
Can you do it one of them fast?
I can
No.
try. I'll do,
Hopefully the
number
first
12.
one.
Yeah.
Let's start with
I'll
the
do
first
the last one and then we'll go backtracking. So we already talked about how Ezra has this little tablet thing that was left after he had the vision with the Loth wolves, and he has decided or been told by the wolves that he needs to go to the Jedi Temple. So he explains that to the rest of the crew, and they use the Loth wolves to show them how to get there. They have like this, whoops.
Whoa.
When they get there, there's like this big mining project, excavation type thing going on. And I don't know who the old guy is who's in charge, but
He's just a new guy.
Sorry. Max is loud.
He's angry about something.
Sorry. Oh, whoa.
So they're excavating around the temple. And they're looking for, like, artifacts. And this is directed
Sorry.
Do you want me to take him?
straight from the top, from Palpatine himself. This guy, so I can't remember his name, but he looks like one of those ministers.
From like the Dark Ages. Kinda.
Not from the Dark Ages, from Return of the Jedi.
Oh.
He's got that medieval times hat on,
Yeah,
though.
that's
does.
what I'm
He's
talking
He's got
about.
the same hat the Wolfpack Lego wear.
Yeah. But, I mean, those ministers are part of the Emperor's retinue in Return of the Jedi. And we also know about a couple of them from, like, the Aftermath novels. You remember well, I don't think you've read any of them. There's...
I just heard you guys talk about
One
it.
of his former ministers is one of the main characters on the Imperial side. I can't remember his name right now. The dark side disciple guy that...
Yeah, I don't remember.
So anyways, the Emperor wants to find whatever's going on at this temple. He thinks there's something special going on.
Mm-hmm.
Carry on.
So there's this mural of the Mortis.
People.
I don't know.
The
clan,
daughter, the son, and the father.
The trio. Yeah. There's a mural on this wall in the temple that they have like kind of roped off so nobody messes with it. But Ezra and Sabine are trying to figure out what the tablet means, and
They're impersonating stormtroopers.
Yeah.
They took some stormtroopers out and put their armor on.
and they're trying to figure out how the mural and the tablet are related or whatever. The tablet has like 3 different hands on it, and
That's a jerkin. I can't remember what the name of the hat is.
they're
Tim is
looking
showing
at
us
a
a
Lego.
Lego with the hat in question.
So the tablet has each of the 3 Mortis people's hands on it.
Well, the mural's representation of their hands.
Yes.
right.
Yes. How they're drawn on the mural. It
Right.
matches. Like they realize the tablet has the same hands, and there's all these lines. It almost looks like a little maze kind of around the whole mural, but at some points it's like lined up a certain way, and so they're trying to figure it out. And Ezra uses the Force somehow to...
Like the mural clearly is jumbled up when they get there. The lines on the mural are
Yes.
jumbled up. And Sabine, being an artist, figures out that they should make the lines match the
lines,
lines on the tablet.
Somehow he does that with the Force.
Yeah, he touches. So he starts off by touching the daughter's hand.
He touches them in the order that they're on the tablet.
And he uses the Force, and different parts of the mural start spinning until they line up. And
it kind of points.
The father's hand points to the Loth wolves. There's some Loth wolves on the mural.
At the bottom of that kind of by their feet, there's these wolves. And then the Loth wolves on the wall, on the mural, start running down the wall,
right,
away, like they're not even part of the mural anymore. They're just running away. And then they form like a door or like a circle on the wall, and they just start running in a circle and reveal the gate opening. And at that time, that old man in the weird hat figures out that they're messing with the mural, and like the Imperials start coming towards them. And so Ezra, they capture Sabine, and Ezra jumps through the portal.
Right. And that's the end of the first episode.
Yep.
Hera and Zeb are just up on the ridge, being nervous ninnies.
Waiting for them to report back.
Yeah. So yeah. We set a precedent. We need to give a rating.
This was a good one. Insight. I liked it. It brought back the Mortis people. That was good.
And at this point,
nobody knows who they are.
They haven't uttered the word Mortis yet in this episode. And Ezra and Sabine don't recognize it.
Yeah, nobody knows who it is.
The only reason that I care about the Mortis stuff is just because it sews it together with another Star Wars show. But the whole Mortis thing and like it existing otherwise, I just don't care about it. I think the Mortis stuff was kind of boring, dream sequency garbage. But that's me.
So what is the point? What point are you trying to make about this episode?
This episode?
You didn't like Mortis, is what you're saying.
Yeah, but I'm saying the only thing I liked about it in this.
There's a throwback to another
there's a
story.
Thread, but that's the only thing that I like. I'm not like excited because it's Mortis. It's definitely gonna be cool then.
I was excited because it was Mortis. Thought it was definitely gonna be cool then. It was gonna be
so
focused on the Force.
We thought different ways.
Yeah. So rate the episode.
6.
Another 6.
It's okay.
Man, the second half of this season, the tail end, the end of Rebels, it's gonna average like a 6.5.
I like that guy's hat.
I thought the guy sounded a lot like
he sounds like a historian.
No,
like an expert.
There's a really famous actor who was the lead character in A Clockwork Orange. What's his name? Malcolm McDowell?
I have no idea.
I can't remember.
I thought he sounded really familiar.
Max is grunting so much.
He's super familiar. No, I'm gonna have to figure out what
I'm going to give it an 8.5.
Yeah, retelling it doesn't seem like a lot happened, but I thought it was executed really well, and it felt like a classic Rebels episode where it's a self-contained heist, but then it wasn't. We knew it wasn't going to be, but there was shenanigans, and then there was mystery and Force stuff. So I was happy.
I always like the Force lore.
8.75.
Yeah, I do too. I liked it.
So much that you gave it a 6.
That doesn't mean that I disliked it.
Tim's rating scale is
totally
it's very different than it used to be.
You know what?
All of a
life
sudden,
view has changed.
It's all because of that horseshoe. We turned that horseshoe around, your ratings are going back up.
Yep, they will.
All right. So then the next episode.
This one is very trippy.
It's a weird one.
I can't even explain this one.
We'll give it a shot. We'll fill in the gaps.
Yeah. It's coming back to me. Actually, I take it back. The last episode is a 7.
What?
Last episode's a 7.
Okay, so... Oh, wait, the one we just did.
Yep.
So that means you're going to rate the next one super low. Okay, so...
Foreshadowing.
Okay, Ezra has jumped through the portal. Sabine has been captured. Sabine is being kind of interviewed.
Because she's an artist. She's an expert.
questioned by that old man in the hat.
Right.
He's trying to get her.
He knows who she is.
Yeah, he knows who she is, and he wants to know how she figured out
Right.
the mural and what it meant and how to open the portal, because that's what they've been doing. They've been trying to figure this. He's been trying to figure this out, and he's some super smart expert and had no idea. And so he wants to find out. And she was really funny. I really liked their interactions. She's like, I'm smarter than you.
Yeah.
Like, she's just so funny about it.
Well, and he explains that they know about the Mortis. He calls them the Mortis gods.
Mm.
And how there was an old Jedi archive record, maybe from Obi-Wan and Anakin and Ahsoka, about Mortis. So they're familiar with Mortis. They know the son, the daughter, and the father. And they thought it might be a gateway or something, but they couldn't figure it out.
So she doesn't. I don't think she helps him very much. Or
Well,
gives him
she
too
ends
much
up
info.
playing more ball because he tells her something she didn't know. And so she becomes at least intrigued by what this guy has to talk about.
Right. So then she starts to give a little bit more information of what she's seeing.
Right. Because she wants to solve the art mystery just as much as he does. So then tell us what Ezra was doing.
So, okay, Ezra jumps through this portal in the Jedi Temple, and he comes out the other end, and he's just like in the vastness of space. He's out in the middle of space.
But he's not in space. He's in a world between worlds.
He's on the Rainbow
It
Road.
looks like outer space. There's blackness, stars, but then there's these like bright white kind of like roads. And
they're like light. They're not even bright white. They light.
They look like LED lights.
Yeah.
On these little pathways that he can go through and run across, and just like this zigzaggy little track. And there's just different portals all over the place.
And they all have like different symbols on them.
And he's just running around. He's confused.
What else was there though?
The
first
Mordecai.
thing he sees, the convor.
The little owl creature thing that
is also on the daughter's picture.
Yeah, it sits on the daughter's shoulder, and it's the same colors as the daughter's dress, like
in
this
the mural.
green.
Yeah.
So is the convor the whole time? Has it been the daughter?
What do you think?
I think it has to be.
Well,
I think it is.
Yeah, we talked about that in the Clone Wars episodes, that when she turns into that.
Right.
And, and the brother turns into this like gremlin looking
the weird
guy.
bat gremlin.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of.
We know that. Ezra doesn't know that.
Yeah, he doesn't.
But he knows that he has seen these owl things.
Yeah,
before.
he goes, "Hey, I've seen you before," and he says something like, "Whenever I saw Ahsoka, you were there." And
then it starts flying off.
And he starts running around, asking for help, calling out for people, because he can hear voices. He can hear Yoda. He can hear Obi-Wan. There's all these different voices going on.
Ray, Kylo.
Ray's in there.
Anyone who's ever used the Force in the movies or in Rebels is there.
And so he's running. He's asking for help. He's calling to Yoda. And then, I don't know, he stops in front of a portal.
The convor takes him to this door.
Okay. And then he can see through this portal. And it's at the moment from one of the previous seasons when they were in the Sith temple.
The end of season 2 on Malachor.
Yes, him and Kanan were there, and Ahsoka and she and Vader fight.
Right.
And that's the last time we had seen her. And so we're seeing in the scene that we saw before, Ezra gets shut out of this room, and it's just Vader and Ahsoka.
And we don't see anything.
And then we
after
never
that.
saw what happened.
Right.
So it's like
we just see her at the very end of the episode walking through, like, down into some dark temple with no context whatsoever.
So we're basically seeing what happened when the door was shut on Ezra and he had no idea what was happening. We're seeing it from another angle of the room, and she's fighting Vader. And they're going at it for a while, and it looks like he's about to kill her.
Right.
And as she's really close to the portal door at that time, Ezra grabs her through the door and pulls her
through the portal
into this in-between world with him. And she's there. And she's talking to him. He basically saves her from Vader.
Right.
And
she knows the owl. Like, she knows its name.
it was like Malachi or something.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. But
And like she said, yeah, this thing's been with me ever since Mortis.
And he kind of he tells her what happened really quickly, and she doesn't freak out. I mean, she's like just been pulled through
time and space because she notices he's older.
Oh yeah, she's like, you look different.
Yeah.
And then he tells her in like 20 seconds that like the whole recap of what's going on, and she's like, oh cool, okay. So then
he's like, we're gonna go save Kanan.
Yeah, he's like, if I could save you, I could save Kanan. So somehow he finds the portal that shows the moment
on Lothal.
Oh yeah, from the episode where Kanan dies. So the fuel tanks are exploded, and he's got the force barrier, and Ezra could pull him through, but Ahsoka stops him, and she says, "Oh, Max is getting tired." She stops him, and
yeah. So she tells him that if you save Kanan, he won't have saved you. You would have died, so you would have been here to save me. You would have created a paradox, basically.
And
so you can't do it.
She says Kanan was exactly where he needed to be, and he did.
Right, it was the will of the cosmic force. The first time we've ever heard anyone say the cosmic force.
Is it the first time?
I think so. I've never heard it before. And so Ezra has to watch Kanan die again and let him die. Like, he has to... This is his final acceptance of his death, his sacrifice.
Because before he really couldn't help him, and now he can, and he just stands there.
Right.
And, yeah. She says something about Kanan was in the place where he could do the most good or help the most people or something. And you just got to let him go and let him do it.
So then, meanwhile, Zeb and Hera they see Sabine get captured, and they don't know where Ezra is. And so they start to plot how to get Sabine out, and they end up stealing like one of these command ship things. And Sabine is being held on one of these command ship things. And I can't remember the details, but they end up like tipping the ship upside down or something, and they end up getting Sabine and then head towards the portal. And inside the world between worlds, they walk up to a portal and Palpatine's there. I don't remember why they walked up to the portal, but Palpatine's like, "Hey, Ezra, you should join me."
Ezra Bridger.
Yeah.
And he sees Ahsoka as well. And he mocks him now that he knows that Kanan's dead. I was surprised the Emperor knew. He knew it was Caleb Doom.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I guess that would make sense. He's a pretty smart dude. And then he uses this weird force fire stuff to try and pull... Like, he insinuates that he can't go through the portal, and then he needs Ezra's help to go through the portal.
And he like latches onto them, and then when he's latched onto them, he's able to pull himself in.
He gets his hand just barely in. But then Ahsoka cuts the fire with the lightsaber. And they end up running away, and Palpatine's like making ever-expanding force blue fire of doom. And as they're running, Ezra's like, "When you get back, come find me."
She says, "I will."
Yeah, which is super cryptic.
He says, "Come find me right away." Like,
yeah.
Do it immediately.
And so she goes back to Malachor. And when she zones into Malachor, Vader had already gone. And the temple had finished doing whatever it was doing, exploding itself. So that's how she got out. Because, like I said, at the end of the last of the season 2 finale, we just see her walking down this temple, and we don't get the whole story. Well, now we know how she survived Vader. Through Ezra doing time wibbly wobbly stuff. And then Ezra ends up back at Lothal. And they escape. I don't think there's a whole much else to
Sabine
add.
had figured out how to shut the gate.
Well, yeah, so Ezra has to move the brother's hand, and it locks out the temple, and it goes back into the ground, and it's gone for good. We're led to believe.
A lot happens in this episode.
A ton happens.
A lot more than the previous one.
Yeah, this one, I really like this episode.
I'm torn on it because I hate all the trippy weirdness in that dream area. But cool stuff happens, and the Palpatine shows up, and he's really scary.
Yeah.
So you know that one Simpsons episode where Homer is like in some other dimension? Like he's sucked into a computer or something?
That's like a Treehouse of Horrors one where he goes into the third dimension? Or the one where he's...
There's also the one where he eats that ghost pepper.
So he has a vision.
Yeah.
It's the one where he's like... This in-between worlds place reminds me...
It's like a grid.
Yes,
Yeah.
It reminds me of that Simpsons
That's
episode.
a Treehouse of Horrors one. The one where he goes into the third dimension. Because
Yeah.
he falls through a wormhole in this 2D world where it's the grid.
Yeah, that's what it reminds me of.
Yeah. So there's some interesting things on the post-episode thing. If you go back in time, the last 2 times Ezra was in this temple, the first time he found a crystal. And then the second time he talked to Yoda. And each of those times... you could see that he was in the same place. Like this starry place. But each successive time, it was more complete, I guess. Like the first time, it was just like this really dark space.
Oh, yeah.
And then the first point of light was his lightsaber crystal. And then he saw more points of light.
Huh.
And then the second time he went, it was like the full space thing around Yoda. It was more complete. And now the third time he's gone there, it was this world between worlds.
That's deep.
Sort of. It just kind of sets up how it's a progression of his, I don't know, exposure to the Force, his life in the Force, whatever. But he's been groomed to do this. And the other insinuation is that the Kanan's Force Ghost Wolf thing told him to go do this, and sacrificed himself just so Ezra could go save Ahsoka. Because Kanan has regretted what happened on Malachor for a long time. Because they were originally, when they got there, they were just going to leave as soon as Maul got there. They're like, yeah, we're not going to hang out with Maul. Let's go. But then they ended up... So Kanan regrets that. And that's when he lost his sight.
Yeah.
There's lots of things, lots of metaphors there.
That could be what he meant when the wolves went and talked to him and he goes, I know what I need to do now.
Right.
That's why he was so calm when
He's accepted what his purpose is, basically.
And we know why Lothal's important now. Because that temple's there and that gateway is there. And like...
It made it seem like those gateways are kind of all over the place, though.
No, not really. Because like they established that gateway, if Palpatine could get to it, he could get to any time and place.
He could, yes.
And that's what they're trying to stop now.
Yes.
So we've added time travel to Star Wars.
Sort of. There's sort of already time travel.
Where?
In Force visions and stuff.
Okay, but this is literal time travel.
Sort of.
He can jump into it.
Did it ever really happen?
Did he pull?
Was it
Ahsoka
just a
in?
Force vision?
he jumped through the wall. It was like a stone
Was
temple.
it a Force vision, though?
No, I don't.
Answer my
because-
question.
No, because all
You don't know. It
Wait.
could all be
I
a
think,
Force
I
vision.
think the Force is involved, but I think it was real.
Okay, it could be plausible, right? It could just be a Force vision. Ahsoka could have gotten out on her own. This whole business where Ezra pulls her through a door could have all just been a Force vision.
Yeah, it could have been in his head.
So
Well,
we've established that it
everybody's-
could just be a Force vision, and there has been time travel in Force visions before, right?
Okay.
Everybody saw him jump through the portal, though. Through a wall? There's a hole in a wall that didn't exist, and everybody else saw him.
It wasn't
go
a
through
hole necessarily. It became a portal, but
But where did it go if it was just?
what
a
if the Force convinced everyone that that's what they saw, and he was just sitting in a chair the whole time? I don't know. The whole thing is, who knows? But the whole point is that it's not the first time there's been time travel in Star Wars. It's just the first time they've given the implication that you could impact time through Force visions. Or through this, whatever it is.
Okay.
Right? Do you agree
Sure.
with that assertion?
I guess.
Was Mortis real?
They don't know.
Yeah, it was real.
How so?
Or maybe it was just a Force vision.
Right. So there's all kinds of levels of could be's and who knows is.
What'd you do to your arm?
It's just dry and I don't ever put lotion on.
No way.
Yeah, and then so it starts out drying out and then sometimes it gets dry enough that it cracks and that's just blood.
Yeah, I
Right
know
on.
what blood
That's
is.
just
I know
blood.
Yeah.
it's a lot of blood though.
Not really. It's just a little bit of blood that I don't clean up and it dries up and
Do you shower?
yeah. And then it'll clean up and then a little bit of blood will seep out and it'll do that again.
Wow. He's got this like 2-inch circle on his.
Yeah, it's just a
Forearm.
dry patch. It's eczema or something.
Yeesh. All right.
It was a good episode.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good episode. They're closing they're not threads, but they're explaining the Force more, I guess, which I like, and the role that it plays, and it really reinforces the story of The Last Jedi, I think, pretty well. That people hate.
Yeah.
They hate the way the story went.
I'm gonna give this an 8.
9.2. No more. It needs to be more.
9.5.
9.75.
9.5 for me.
There it is.
And you just don't like time travel. That's your
I
He doesn't
thesis.
like-
I don't mind time travel. I don't like unreality. I like things to actually matter that are happening.
What didn't matter?
Someone is pooping live on the podcast for the first time.
Sorry.
What didn't matter?
Yeah. What about the episode didn't matter?
Well, if what they were doing
it
in
really
this dream
happened-
world.
But if it really happened, they saved Ahsoka. He saved
He
Ahsoka.
totally saved Ahsoka. Why are you? If this wasn't real, then there could be so many things that aren't real. So what's the point in
Right.
pretending like it's
Sure.
not real?
Assume it. I'm saying it could be real.
Okay.
We don't have any reason to believe that it's not real. He
Right.
saved Ahsoka.
Right. So something important happened. And not only did he save Ahsoka, this is like Kanan's mission for him. He taught him about sacrifice, and then he also empowered Ezra to go do this mission, to right a wrong.
I didn't think that hard about it, I guess.
Well, I guess not.
All right. Well, there we have it. Are we going to do letters?
No.
You should do 2.
No.
You can leave if you need to. We are reading letters from before his birth.
I think you're rereading some of the old letters.
No, we're not.
We cleaned it up. We cleaned it up.
We totally did. Sorry, guys. Hey, guys. Nerd Jace signing in. Sorry that it's been a while since I've written in. Senior year of high school is just so crazy. Well, anyways, I just wanted to comment on the episodes that I just got around to listening to last night. I wanted to comment on the Inferno Squad book really quick and ask you guys if you have played Battlefront 2. If so, do you guys believe the theory of Iden and Del being the parents of Rey? No. What a dumb theory. I thought there is a ton of evidence to show that they are. I don't want to put in spoilers for any of the other listeners for the story of Battlefront 2, but I think that if it is true, then it's a little weird that they were introduced in a video game. But if it is true, it's nice that we were able to find out the whole backstory of her parents, since Rian Johnson said that her parents will only be mentioned in the movie a little bit. Tell me what you guys think. Also, thanks for all the reviews on Rebels. I can't watch any of them until they come out on DVD, so knowing what happens a little is really nice. Also, I wanted to ask what you guys think will happen to the rest of the Ghost crew for the rest of Season 4 coming soon.
Ugh. Well, Kanan will die.
Jeez.
He's dead.
We knew he was going to die.
I didn't know that.
Do you think anyone else is going to die? I'm not going to answer. Jen, do you think anyone else will die? Any of the main Ghost crew characters or Ahsoka? Now that Ahsoka's back in play.
That would be really dumb to bring her back and then just immediately kill her.
All right, so what about the rest?
No.
Anyone else going to die?
Maybe like Ryder or some
No, the
people that
main
we don't
people.
care
If
about.
Ryder dies, it doesn't matter.
I bet Zeb dies.
Yeah.
He's too much like Chewie. Competition.
I don't think anybody else is going to die because they made such a big deal out of this. They took 2 episodes to deal with it, and there's only 2 left.
There's 3 left.
Yeah, but what happens?
there was
What
only
happens?
two.
There's an hour and a half of content left.
Yeah,
Whether
what-
you call it 2 episodes or 3 is up to you.
What
So
happens
is it,
to Ezra?
Does it all come out tomorrow?
Yes.
All
All hour and a half come out tomorrow.
Okay. I don't think anybody else big is going to die.
Okay. Perfect. I know that we will see someone die, but let me know who you all think will and won't.
I would have said I think Zeb will die.
But then
But
Kanan
now,
died.
knowing what I know now,
Also, do you think they will succeed on the assault on the factory at Lothal?
yeah.
I think so.
We're so smart.
I think they will, since
I think
there
there's going to be a big explosion.
are no TIE defenders in any of the other movies or any other books or comics.
Oh, we forgot to mention. They mentioned Krennic.
And Project Celestial Power.
Yeah.
There was
That
a
was
brief
big deal.
Tarkin cameo in the first 30 seconds of the first episode of that we reviewed in the last episode. We forgot to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And Tarkin was like, I think that old Krennic's blowing smoke.
Well,
I'd
he's
rather fund your project, but we need data, or we need evidence to back it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a good callback. I hope that you guys have a ton of fun when you see The Last Jedi. Me and all of our friends are going to the special event in our city. I'm so excited. Hope you all are doing well, especially Jen, and hope the little guy is
Thanks.
healthy, and you guys all are all too.
He's healthy.
Have a Merry Christmas season. May the Force be with you.
Somehow we all survived this winter without getting sick, but we know a lot of people who actually have the real deal influenza.
Big deal influenza. Yesterday, Job vomited 4 times in the middle of the night.
Huh.
Probably not. We don't know if it's sickness or allergies.
Allergy stuff.
It's very annoying. Allergies are so annoying.
Who's this letter from?
Um,
RL.
Randall Lee.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Congratulations. What's up, nerd leaders? I was about to sleep until I heard about baby Maximus Timothy, #Tim Jr.
Aw.
And I just want to say congratulations to the 2 of you. Hope he is a bundle of joy and he likes Star Wars as much as the 3 of you. I checked out your Facebook and he looks so cute.
Thanks.
He is cute.
He's gotten a lot cuter.
Anyway, I was going to save this email until I got back from the holidays, but I could not email you all, so I was thinking about the way Rebels will end, and here it is. Star Wars Theory, the end of Star Wars Rebels. The same context of SWNU, Ezra and Kanan will go to the Jedi Temple, and while fighting, Vader will turn Ezra, and he and Kanan will fight, where Kanan puts Ezra down, and in distraught, he destroys the temple, and he will take down the stormtroopers, but not Vader, who escapes somehow. 2. Vader will show up to the temple and gravely injures Kanan. Ezra, who's mad, uses all of his powers, dark and light, and defeats the attack. Vader attacks Ezra, and then the Bendu or the blue glowy is come and hold Vader back. While Ezra drags Kanan out, blah blah, heartfelt speech, then Kanan dies. Saddened, Ezra fakes his death, but only to the rebellion, but not to the Ghost Crew.
Okay, I just thought of something. So, when Ezra pulled Ahsoka out and saved her, that was season 2.
Yeah, the end of season 2.
And he said, "Find me right away." She never.
When you
came
get back, find me.
She never came back.
We don't know what time period she went back into.
Oh, you think like it's
I don't know.
100 years later and the...
Who knows? All we know is she got back to Malachor, and Vader was not there anymore.
Oh.
So who knows what time frame it is?
Maybe she's gonna come into one of the new movies.
Maybe.
Just pop through a
I
portal.
highly doubt it. It's interesting that we did see the temple not get destroyed, but I guess get gone forever. And it was due to Ezra.
Yeah, he saved the portal.
Right.
I think it's pretty clear that at this point that all of the hinting they were doing about Ezra turning dark is not going to happen.
I would assume not.
I mean, based on where it's gone the last few episodes.
Just to be clear, I never said he was going dark.
I didn't either.
I always said it was stupid.
I don't remember what I said.
Everyone goes, oh, he's Snoke, duh. Ezra's DJ, duh.
He might be.
DJ.
That's a thing.
Yeah, he could be.
Ezra is Ezra. He's not in the
You'll
movies.
see when Ezra has a weird verbal tick.
Yeah.
At the end of this. The trauma. Interesting theories. What is that, Jenny? What is that hand motion?
That's stop talking.
Isn't this something? Doesn't this mean something?
I'm
in
filling the
music?
dead air while I'm picking up my phone to get this open.
I don't know
Are
what
you
that
done
is.
with the email?
No.
If anyone knows ASL, or non-American sign language, I don't know what that's called. You make a duckbill motion while doing a semicircle clockwise.
Swoop up.
Like a U.
And you you swoop up and close the duckbill by the end of motion. What is that?
Basically, it means, Tim, I hate you.
Oh, I guess.
You talk too much. In the show now. Anyway, I'm off to sleep. Just 6 more hours till I have to leave. Thanks for reading this. Congrats once again and happy holidays. Randall out. That's it.
Thank you, Randall.
Thanks for the email. Thanks for the kind words. Thanks for listening to this podcast. Subscribe everywhere on the internet. Tell your friends about us. Download it like 1,000,000 times to up our download numbers so we get up in the higher rankings again.
And so when this one airs, it'll probably be after the finale had aired. But
We're gonna
go back
the finale.
go back through the world between worlds and tell your future self the past self to tell your future self to enjoy the finale, which for us is happening tomorrow, but for you will have happened in the past. But for your past self, it will be tomorrow.
All right, time travel. That's it. We're on all sorts of podcast networks. BenView Network's a good one. Retro Junkies. Fantastic Plastics.
We're really
do our
only on
theme song.
2 podcast networks, not all sorts of.
All sorts.
2 sorts.
May the force be with you.
May the force be with you.
May the force be with you.
Did you hear that? We're doomed.
This podcast is a part of the BenView Network.
You can find this and other podcasts like it at BenViewNetwork.com.